Welcome back to another installment here on the Lazy Genius Tarot and Bazaar. If you're new here, thank you for making this your first stop on the channel. Today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to do my final Pulp of Tarot video until I get any new expansions that he might come out with in the future. And this one is basically just an update. In the first two, I gave you a walkthrough of the base deck and the expansions as they sort of came in the mail there. Now, this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one last walkthrough of the deck itself as I use it, because since I put it together and put the expansion cards that I choose to use in the deck, taking out the cards that came in the base deck that I wanted to exchange for the alternates from the expansions and so on. This is how I have been using it, sort of in its full capacity, I guess you would say. I did get a couple of crystals just for the deck here. This one is actually super cool. It's a green amethyst, and you kind of have to put it up against something dark to see just how green it really is, right? But that one's really cool. Got a lot of crystals. So here is the Pulp of Tarot. Like I said, this is the walkthrough of the deck as I currently use it. Nudity warning. There's nudity in this deck. Kind of a lot of it, actually. So what I'm going to do, now that we've gotten the disclaimer out the way, what I'm going to do is give you a walkthrough of the deck as it is, as I use it, and then sort of show you the alternates as well. I think I'm gonna have to do this one zoomed out today. Yeah, because I'm gonna put this here. That way. Oh, sorry guys, just trying to get the lighting right. There we go. Let me add this, see if that helps. All right, so this is going to be the deck, and this is the cards from the expansion that I'm not using, or the ones that have been swapped out from the deck itself. So I kind of put this together as if I had to get rid of all of the cards that I'm not using and box it up into one box. This is how I would have done that. So it is pretty thick now that everything is included. But you will get a glimpse at all of that here in just a second. Not everything is actually used. Some of them are title cards that I would just include if I were to put it in a box. So here's the title card. Then you have your explanation card. I'm pretty sure I read through this on the walkthrough I did. Here's the world expansion title card, I guess you would say. That goes through the definitions of the minors and whatnot. Those two cards actually have like this red splotch on them for the description cards. They have the red splotches on them. And then here we have the deck, and then like I said, I will go through each of the alternates or whatever as they pop up. Here's the Fool. Actually, here we'll do it like this. So this is actually a pretty interesting card. On his suitcase here, he's got the I love New York, Utah. You can tell he's been quite a few different places. Your Magician, High Priestess, Empress, And this was actually the alternate card. This was the card that came in the deck. I had swapped the two of them out and decided to run with this one. I felt like it embodied the Empress a little bit more. Here we have the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot. It's actually a really interesting Chariot card. Now to go back a step, because this is the Lovers card that came in the deck itself. This was the alternate Lovers card. And I ended up choosing not to run with that one, even though it's actually a really dope card. I like the artwork on it. I like that card more, so I've decided to run with that one. And then back to the Chariot, which is a super cool Chariot card. The VW Bug actually has no wheels. It looks like it's planted in the dirt entirely. Here we have the Strength card. Now I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to translate this, but because of the fact that he's got a Justice card at 11, I assume that the 8th card here is going to be Strength, right? But I am going to translate that because there's similarities between the two cards, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. Here's the Hermit card. This is probably my favorite Hermit card out of any tarot deck. Probably my favorite Wheel of Fortune card out of any tarot deck also. I like this one. I like the way that the title was flipped upside down. You see the wheel off in the background. He's got all 4 suits represented on the card there, standing at the beach. Here's the Justice card, and like I said, there were similarities between the two cards there. So here's the 2 cards. So I don't know. We will wait to see what happens with the future expansions and stuff. Here's the Hanged Man. This one's an interesting card. It looks almost like one of them weird dystopian movies where they've got a politician tied to the table. That's what I can only assume it is, because he's all in a suit and a tie, so he's either a businessman or a politician, one of the two. They got him tied to the table, like they finna eat him. Here's the Death card that came in the deck in the alternate. I ended up not wanting to go with the alternate card, so we chose to go with the one that came with it. Now I'm gonna flip these over until we get to, I'll just pull them off the screen. That way the nudity is not just hanging out there forever. Here's the Devil. Now this, the Devil and the World card, I couldn't decide between the two, so I'm running both of them currently, because I couldn't decide which one that I like most. So this is the one that came in the deck. This is the Devil that came in the deck, and that is the alternate Devil, and I like both of them a lot, actually. So I am currently running both of them, and one day I will decide to take one out, or maybe I won't. I don't know. Here is the Tower card. It's possibly my favorite Tower card ever. I don't know. The Tower card is one of those cards where that's one of the first ones that I look at in the deck, really. So I got a lot of different favorite Tower cards. Here's the Star card, the Moon, the Sun, Judgment, the World. And here's the World. The World is another one of the major arcana here that I could not choose between the one that came in the deck or the alternate. And because these two I feel like can be read entirely differently almost. Um, I'm running both of them because I can't decide between the two. That's possibly my favorite world card ever, but this is also possibly my favorite depiction of an RWS world card ever. Um, so I'm having trouble deciding between the two. Now we go into the Super Arcana. There's a total of 11. 10 come in the expansion and one that comes with the base deck. This is the 22nd card, Balance. 23rd Arcana, the Minotaur. The 24th Arcana, the one that actually comes in the base deck itself. The Kraken. The 25th Arcana, Media. The 26th, Cyclops. The 27th, the Superorganism. The 28th, Soul. It's a dope card, actually. The 29th, the Observer. Card 30 in the Arcana, the Druid. 31 is Vengeance. 32 is the Pest Maiden. And then we get into the wands. I'll bring back the alternates here because now we have some. So this is the Ace or the One of Wands. This is the Two of Wands that came in the deck. I chose to keep it because if you look, he's standing at a ledge that's shaped much like the one in the RWS card. He's looking out over a scenery that looks to include water in the background, much like in the card. He's got the two wands, the globe here in the corner, the rose and lily on his patch. All of the RWS symbolism is there. That's why I ran that card instead of this one. The Three of Wands, Four of Wands, Five of Wands. Now, as you notice, as we flip through here, all of these titles are in different languages. They flip and flop between different languages. Here's the 6, the 7, the 8. It's probably my favorite 8 of Wands ever. Just with Godzilla in the background messing everything up, and your 8 wands right there in the front. It's a pretty cool depiction. You got a lot of stuff going on in this card. It's extremely busy as you look deeper into the image there. It's a really cool card. Here's the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, the Page, the Knight, the Queen. Now, this was the alternate. This is the Queen of Wands that came in the deck. So I took the Queen of Wands out of the deck because I don't like that one. I'm going to leave that upside down. So I took the Queen of Wands out of the deck that was in there because it's just full of phallic references and all sorts of stuff, and there's already enough of it in the deck. They gave me an alternate, so I took it, and I actually like the artwork in this one a lot more anyways. So that is the one that I decided to run in the deck. Here we have the King of Wands. And into the cups we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a really cool 5 of cups. You can see the sort of skull image in the moon. There's a lot to unpack in this card. There's a bust on the bridge, the factory in the background producing all the smoke you see in the sky, the way that the cups are laid out. I mean, I don't know, I like it. It's very RWS based. Here you see there's still the skull, the tentacles, the pentacle, the sword, the snake, the sort of tower, and the High Priestess card. The High Priestess is right there as well. Here you have the 8 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, here is the alternate Page of Cups. This is the Page of Cups that came in the deck. Again, like I said, there's enough of it already in there. They gave me an alternate. The alternate I thought was funny. It's a duck on a Starbucks coffee cup with the feather, and there's a couple of what look like beads or who knows what on the table behind it. The duck looks like he's saying, "I'm a consumer whore." It's a funny card. I think this is the card actually that made Simon decide to finally go ahead and buy this deck. You know, because he's always saying, "Hey up me ducks," and he loves Starbucks coffee. So I think this is the card that made him decide to get everything. And then again, with the page running right into the night, I mean, there's sort of already enough of it in the deck, right? The King of Cups. And here we have the Ace of Swords, and this is actually the Ace of Swords that came in the deck. This is actually the alternate, so I decided to run the alternate rather than the one that came in the deck. Here's the 2 of Swords, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the image from the box itself. Let's see. 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a pretty cool 10 of Swords. Here's the Page, Knight. Here's the Queens. So this is actually the Queen of Swords that came in the deck. This was the alternate. So I decided to run the alternate rather than the one that came in the deck. And here's our King of Swords. Now into the aces here. This was actually the 2 that came in the deck. This was the alternate. I decided to run the alternate 2 of Swords, or 2 of Pentacles there. I like the rabbit. Here's the 3 of Pentacles. 4. The 5. This is the 5 that came with the deck. This was the alternate that came in the expansion. I decided to skip on the alternate there because, well, this one actually fits the Rider-Waite symbology. The rest of these are going to be later. That is a pretty cool depiction of the 7 of Pentacles there. There's the 8, 9, 10. Here's the page, knight, queen, and king of pentacles. Now also available as an individual card on drive-through cards is the one of eggs. There's a secret suit of eggs that he is doing to accompany the deck that you can choose to add in if you want. Once I get the entire suit, it will sit behind the pentacles in the deck. In the meantime, I am just sort of holding on to the two that I have. The first one here, we have the one of eggs. Looks like Humpty Dumpty cracked, saying fuck yeah. Here we have the two of eggs. The expansion also comes with two jokers for gameplay purposes, which I would also include with the deck itself, more than likely behind the title card, actually. So if I were to put this all in a box, those would be included just before the Fool. And then the suit of eggs would be the last one in the deck. Now also, I do use, like if I use this deck for someone else, I do use the Bone Zodiac expansion, which is where this comes back into play. So there's the sort of title card for that. And then here we have the 12 Zodiacs. I believe it starts there with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Scorpio. Now with the Scorpio card, this is actually the alternate. The Zodiac expansion came with 3 alternates for the Zodiac signifier cards. I like the card that came with the extras rather than the one that came with it. So this is the actual card that comes in the Zodiac expansion, like the main one. This would be the alternate for it. I chose to run the alternate. Then we move on to Libra. Also, there was a alternate for the Taurus card, which I have chose to run the one that came with it normally, and this is the alternate Gemini card as well. Here we have Scorpio, the Capricorn, I always get those mixed up. And then Aries and Pisces. So that's the Bone Zodiac there. And again, if I were to include this in a box, that would be put at the back. So ultimately, the way that I currently run it, if I were to package it, including the Zodiac signifiers, we are looking at a pretty hefty deck. This last card here is actually the first card that he gives us for the second secret suit of tentacles. And this is the 8 of tentacles for that, which is the beginning of the second secret suit. So yeah, if I were to box it up, this is how big of a deck we would be looking at. That is massive. Thankfully, in day-to-day use, I don't keep any of those cards in there. I do run these. But there we go. So what I run on a daily basis is a 90 card deck, essentially, there. And then I keep all of this like that. And then I keep that, which is like, you know, the extra cards, the Zodiac expansion, if I need a signifier, keep all of those in the box with the expansion pack cards that I am not using and probably won't use. I am still unsure as to whether or not I will run the second secret suit of tentacles. I probably won't. It kind of depends on the other cards that come out for that suit, depending on what's coming in future expansion packs for the deck there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the way that I run it, it ends up being a 90 card deck. You've got your 78 card base deck, you know, the base Rider Weight deck, plus the 11 Super Arcana, which brings us up to the 89. Plus, it's actually 91 because I am currently running the 2 simultaneous Devil and World cards until I figure out which ones of those I'm gonna end up ultimately wanting to run with the deck, and then I will take those out and it'll come back down to 89. But yeah, that is the way that I am currently running this deck. Now again, the card stock is about the same thickness. The closest thing that I think I could compare it to would be almost like an RWS yellow box as far as thickness is concerned, but the cardstock itself is like this embossed cardstock that looks and feels linen, but the drive-through cards calls it embossed. So this is literally the deck that I use every day in its current 89 card form, and the Super Arcana actually read rather well, at least for me. They seem to fit with the readings when they fall in place. The deck shuffles amazingly. I have to do the bridge at the end of the riffle shuffle like this, because if I do it like this, the cards tend to shoot out because of the basically linen cardstock. It feels linen, but this is my favorite deck right now, guys. Probably will be for a while. But yeah, there you have it. Thanks again for coming to hang out with me and bear yet another Pulp of Tarot video. And like I said, I promise this will be the last one of these videos that I do until I get a new expansion. Once I get a new expansion or figure out when they're coming out or whatever, then I will do another update video for the Pulp. But I am definitely a fan of this. I am going to reach out to the artist. His name is Sean Simmons. His email address is actually littered through the deck randomly on random cards, like right here. So, he makes it really accessible to reach out to him. And I am definitely going to do that. I'm probably going to include the videos that I've done about his deck just so that he can see that, you know, it's getting a following. And if he was thinking about not doing those other expansions, please, dude, do those other expansions. There's people that are loving this deck right now. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. All right. Again, thank you guys for coming to hang out with me today. Definitely appreciate the fact that you guys keep coming back. And again, if you are new here, thank you for making this your first stop on the channel. I want to thank you all definitely for coming to hang out with me today. Definitely appreciate that. And, hopefully I will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to make sure that you get notified of my live videos every Thursday, and every time I put out a new video on just an upload. But yeah, take care, guys.